All right, so we'll jump into it. This is my podcast, Encounters with Darkness. Thank you so much for coming on.
Not a
You
problem.
have all kinds of cool surprises for us, but one question that I always ask is, have you ever had an encounter with darkness yourself?
Oh, many, many times. That is the wonderful thing about being a hypersensitive who draws negative. So, yay. Um, the house I grew up in Alabama was haunted by a little girl. That was my first encounter. Um, the house I lived in Old Louisville many times. Just would come home and be like, who the fuck are you?
Oh my gosh.
Get out. So I have many protections to keep them away now.
So were they
um,
just like stragglers, like coming along, or were these just like always there, same
um,
characters?
this most a lot of times it was stragglers. One of the ones I really remember is when I still lived in Alabama, and we went over to a friend's house who, unbeknownst to me, had been practicing necromancy, which I don't know. I don't mess with any of that. You don't mess with spirits. It's just a definite no. And I was like, do you have any protections to keep like negative spirits away? And he just goes, oh, I got this, his little pentacle. And I was like, that doesn't protect against anything. A little trinket you bought at Hot Topic, dude. So we
Oh
were
man.
driving home and I just felt like, real heavy negative energy all of a sudden. And I look in my rearview mirror, and sitting in my back seat is a very angry old man.
I
So
would have freaked
yeah,
out.
it freaked me out. Like I don't like being a hypersensitive that draws negative because all the negative spirits are like, hey, yeah, we know you can see it. But I
Oh,
also like it because like I can see my friends that have passed at times when they want to come, so it's enjoyable there. But yes, many, many things. I had one when I drove. I used to live in Louisville, downtown. Well, not downtown, but down in like Valley Station area, by Waverly. And one day I was driving by, and I will never go to Waverly. Like, no.
it's on my bucket list. Like
I'm
I need to.
like, I want to for the history of it because I love history. But like I said, the spirits will mess with me, and I don't want
Yeah.
that. But I was driving by, and it was during winter, so you could see it clearly through the trees, like no problem. And about 10 minutes later, I kind of like was aware that I was driving up the back access road to Waverly.
It was drawing you in. It was like,
Yeah.
come here. I'm
I
ready
was, I
for
was like,
you.
hold on. Nope.
Ah.
So yeah, that was a little much. I was just like, okay, I don't want to be friends.
So, like myself, you are very much into horror.
Yeah.
Um, is the way that, you know, your gift or your ability, is that kind of something that like sucked you into the horror genre?
Not really. I've always been a weird kid. I mean, I grew up in southern Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. And I was always the odd kid. I was the goth kid in high school. Like anything I could do to be different, I did and didn't care. So I've always been weird, and moving up here and finding more people who are accepting, and meeting Charlie, who's just as much a horror nerd as I am. So it's just I love it up here so much more
So
than
it's more like the horror family for you than kind of the whole scary aspect. It's just those people down to earth, like,
right, right. like my dad was into horror too, so that was kind of our thing. Like we went and saw, whenever Saw came out, we went to the theater and saw every movie that came out until I moved. But hi, doggo.
Just smacked me in my face every time. He's like, no, pay attention to me. All right, all right, all right. Bye, Kiba. So it was kind of the same for, yeah, he's not gonna quit. It's kind of the same for me. Like my dad was not necessarily like super into horror, but he's an artist. So the art that goes behind creating something like that is just
Right.
ingenious. Woo, there goes my computer. Nope, we're not gonna do anything you say, computer. Sorry about that.
All good.
But you are definitely in the whole artistic side of horror.
Yes.
And I find a lot of beauty in horror. And behind you, you have some creations.
Yes, I do. I have very, very creepy zombie horse that actually looks like a dismembered horse head.
That is
stuck on a stick.
awesome.
And the coolest thing I found out is it's got a voice box that's old, so it just sounds freaking terrible.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. And this was just like a little whim, I never thought, hey, I'm going to do this and make money off of it. It was like, hey, I'm going to try and maybe make some money. And I sent you those pictures of like my past works, which I don't have because they sold. And for quite a bit, like it surprised me, honestly, how popular they were, because, it was just something I was like, I'll try. Why not?
What gave you the inspiration to, because these are all like upcycled, basically. Like these are old dolls that you've just went and bought at thrift stores, or?
I actually had some that were donated to me. The ones I'll show you in a minute, the twins, they were donated to me. I was at the end of the year party for Haunted House Workers the year before last, and someone had taken some stuffed animals and made them look a little bit creepy, like stuck needles in them and stuff like that. And I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And not to outdo the person, obviously,
Right.
They inspired me, but I was like, I can do that. And I tried it. And like I said, I made 4 different items and sold 3 of them.
That's amazing. And you sell these strictly on Facebook?
I actually have an Etsy page now that I'm selling them on. One of them is actually in my case at Clarksville Peddlers Mall. That's my other page, Great House Gifts, sells the body jewelry and pipes and stuff. But I do have an Etsy page. It's My Creepy CR by Sapphy, and that's SAPPHY on Etsy. And I have the hobby horses up for sale. And then I have a doll that's frozen. She looks like she froze to death. And the cool thing about that is I asked my friend, and I'm going to drop a name, I'm sorry.
You go for it.
She's freaking awesome. Drag performer named Bubonic Rose. And she does art and stuff. And she went to school for mortuary sciences. And cool. I asked her, I was like, do I have the coloration of a frozen dead body right? And she helped. So that makes just a little bit more creepy.
Yeah, nailed it, like first try.
Right, I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna get the twins. These are kind of like, I love them so much. It was just something I had to do. And they're a little heavy. But here's my twins.
And they look kind of, were they burned, or is that blood?
No, she is burnt.
Okay, I thought those were burn marks.
The story is the brother, obviously, he kind of went crazy.
Oh, he
He's
looks
got
like
little
it.
matches and
Oh
burnt
my
out matches in
gosh,
his hands.
the
So
detail.
he wanted to get rid of his sister. So tried burning her alive.
Oh
But
wow.
they are conjoined, you know, at the shoulder. But yeah, he's got burn marks on his
Oh,
head and stuff. But I love my twins, but they do need a home.
yes, they do. Not in my home, but we all know, like, I do not do dolls. From a distance, like through this screen, I'm fine. I'm cool as a cucumber.
Well,
You
I
put
will let
those,
you know that because, I'm buying dolls from antique shops sometimes, Goodwill, or they're gifted to me. Every doll that comes into my house gets saged first.
oh, yeah.
No.
Oh
um,
my gosh.
my next project will be once I get a staple gun, and hope I know you will know what this is going to turn into.
Oh yeah, I can tell already.
It's my buddy.
That is so cool. Did you get that on Amazon? Where'd you get that?
No, actually, there's a thrift store below my apartment, and the lady had it for like $2, and I was like, "Oh, oh, he's gonna be Chucky."
Yeah,
So yeah, as soon as I get a staple gun and some air dry clay, we're gonna, yeah. I'm super excited to start work on him.
that is nuts. So if you could take this to the next extreme, are you having fun just doing what you're doing, or what do you have a dream behind this? Like, what's something you want to accomplish?
Well, I'm enjoying it a lot, but I would also like to eventually go to the Oddities Expo in Indianapolis. Like, I would like to be able to present them there and have enough to like have an entire.
Oh, you
Just
could
like
get there.
we do Market of Mischief whenever they actually have one and stuff like that, where we can sell our stuff. And we do the year, the Monster Mash for the haunted house workers. We do that. But I would like to do that. I looked at the vendor list for this year and was like, oh my goodness, so many things to say doll after it. So
Because
I
it's
was like, I gotta up my game a little bit before I think I'm good enough to be with them.
Oh, you are definitely good enough. Like all the images, which will be like strung out throughout this video.
Yeah,
So sorry to all the podcast listeners. They have to always jump over to my YouTube channel just so they
right.
can see the cool things.
Oh, it is totally worth it, you guys, especially to see one of my favorite ones, I would have to say, is the rat skeleton coming out of the teddy bear with like
Yeah,
the stuff dripping off of it. I think that's my favorite one.
yeah. I showed that one to my son, which he is old enough to see this stuff, kind of. I mean, it's a toy teddy bear, all right?
Right.
But it's also pretty scary. And he instantly was like, oh, no. It's like, yeah, see, she's doing a good job then because you got scared just looking at it.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, when I brought them to the haunted house workers party, the Monster Mash, I kind of got a little bit of a confidence boost then because I had them at my table, and so many of these, they're working at haunted houses, so they're working to scare other people. When they walk up to your table and see your creations and go, "Huh,
Yeah,
you've
that's
done something good."
that's the reaction you want. And
Yeah.
it's so insane the people that are behind horror, and I've said it before, but it's who you least expect. Like
Yeah.
little bitty sweet old ladies that look like they cook the most delicious, anything in the world.
Oh yeah.
They are into horror. Like
Yeah.
they absolutely love it. It's just something about being afraid that makes you feel alive.
Right.
Ah, I love it. So, no like big dreams to maybe, I don't know, have like your own store that's just like donated, good lord, but just highlighting. this type of work.
That would be really kind of cool, yeah,
Oh
actually.
my gosh. See, that's something that Indiana needs. We need it. We can have so many supporters here. Now you just need your
Right?
GoFundMe page so we all can donate to it.
Yes.
So the best place for people to follow you that's going, they're going to be interested in what you're doing, is that your Etsy page mainly?
No, actually, probably my Facebook page. It does have a link to my Etsy page, but my
Awesome.
Facebook page will have like what I'm going to be doing if I'm going to be at an event. That one and Great House Gifts as well. They're going to kind of be combined because the husband does the body jewelry and the pipes and all that stuff, which I help sell it because I mean, obviously, look at me.
Right.
I sell body jewelry.
Yeah, you're in high demand of it.
Right. But the dolls and stuff are just kind of an offshoot of my own creations. I had to make a separate page for that. But if Great House Gifts is going to be somewhere, Sapphy's Creepy Creations is going to be right there.
Oh yeah, hand in hand. You guys are
Yes.
awesome. I love it. And the Great House name? Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Well, Sappy, do you have any like big releases, like sneak peeks that we can kind of get a little insight on? Something to
Well,
stay tuned about?
I would stay tuned for the progress on the My Buddy. I think that's going to be my next project that I'm going to be working on.
It's going to be
Definitely.
good. Yeah, I'm going to definitely follow that. I love the whole entire Chucky's series.
Yes.
Even the one with Chucky's kid.
Oh my
Okay.
God, Seed of Chucky.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love it, and I get a lot of like flack for that, but I do. I thought it was good. I went and saw it in theaters and was super amped because I was finally old enough to go and see a scary movie by myself. Didn't have to have an adult there. Oh, but thank you so much for coming on. I hope to have you back whenever you have Chucky
Yes.
finished and a lot of other things going.
Yes. Thank you
So
for having me. It's been super awesome.